Morning guys, I want to talk about green coffee bean extract in this video. It's become super popular within the supplement industry. It's in fat burners, weight management supplements, that kind of thing, and it's in so many of them that it kind of deserves its own video and article and all that jazz. So the article's on the website, so if you want to go and sort of read that at your own pace, then that's great. It's also got links to studies and stuff that I can't go into in too much detail in a short-ish video. So green coffee beans are basically raw coffee beans before they get roasted into the coffee that we drink every morning. It looks green, it looks raw, and the roasting process destroys most of the main bioactive compound that we use green coffee bean extract for, which is chlorogenic acid. In fact, any supplement that you use that's based on green coffee bean extract is usually dosed specifically for the chlorogenic acid content. So I'm going to talk about, so that's kind of what green coffee is. I'll talk about the ideal dosage, talk about when to use it, talk about how to use it properly, and other stuff that it does. Actually, the stuff that it does. So, for weight loss specifically, there's two main sort of mechanisms by which green coffee bean extract and its chlorogenic acid work. The first one that scientists have discovered is that it can block some of the glucose from being absorbed from your intestine into your system, into your blood, etc., etc. So some of the carbohydrates within the meal that you eat, if you are supplementing this, will be kept in the intestine and passed through as waste or whatever. But basically, they won't enter your system, and they won't be added to your caloric total for the day intake. So that's one thing. People call that carb blocking or carbohydrate blocking or glucose blocking or whatever. So it's sort of, in a sense, it basically prevents those calories from making it into your overall metabolic sort of turnover for the day. The second thing green coffee bean extract does is create like a thermogenic effect in your body. So thermogenesis, what is that? It's the production of heat, essentially. But what it means in the context of your body and body fat is that whatever it is, in this case it's it's green coffee bean extract, it promotes faster rates of what's called beta oxidation. You've got several beta receptors, 1, 2, 3, and alpha receptors and all that thing. Depending on how these receptors are interacted with via an ingredient, again, like green coffee, it can start different processes within the cell, within each individual cell themselves. And in the center of a cell, either a brown adipose tissue or a white fat cell. There's less mitochondria in white fat cells than there are in brown fat cells, but that's another discussion later, for brown adipose tissue activation, that kind of thing. But basically what it means is beta oxidation is the breakdown of fats inside in the mitochondria of your cells. The mitochondria, they're like power stations. They're how your body generates and utilizes the most basic forms of energy that you get from your food, your diet, your supplements, etc. It's where ATP is generated, basically. ATP being the basic currency of energy that your body uses. So, green coffee bean extract can both block a bit of glucose from your food, and it can increase thermogenesis, which is basically the turnover of fats. Energy goes in, fat gets broken down, heat is given off as a sort of a waste byproduct, part of the breaking of bonds. That's where the heat comes from. It's in the formation or breaking, the energy that is created from the formation or breaking of bonds within the cell. There's other things that green coffee can do beneficially to your health. One is it lowers blood pressure. It can increase vascular function or improve vascular function. It reduces homocysteine levels. Homocysteine is a large component in heart disease, or the form, what becomes heart disease one day. So if you tie all those things together, it basically improves blood health or vascular health, heart health overall. So people can take it for that as well as fat loss and carbohydrate blocking. That's ultimately what green coffee's for. The next thing I want to talk about just quickly is dosage. It's really important. Ingredients useless without being included in useful dosages. So, green coffee, like I said before, it's usually dosed for its chlorogenic acid content, which means when you see green coffee bean extract as your ingredient, it's usually going to come alongside a percentage in brackets maybe of the chlorogenic acid content. That means your green coffee bean extract can actually vary quite wildly in terms of dosage. So you're going to see anything from 600 milligrams of green coffee bean extract all the way up to like 3,000, 6,000 milligrams. Personally, I recommend the higher end of that dose because no matter what the chlorogenic acid dose, green coffee bean itself has kind of conveys benefits to the body. So if you've got a 600 milligram green coffee bean dose and it's 50% chlorogenic acid, then you're getting a good 300 milligram dose of chlorogenic acid. Same could be said for if you've got a 3,000 milligram dose of green coffee bean. That's 5 times more than what I just said at the 600 milligram dose. But you've got a 10% chlorogenic acid content, then you're looking at 300 milligrams of chlorogenic acid. So you can get the same dose of chlorogenic acid from a small or a large dose of green coffee bean. I've seen them up to 6,000 milligrams, the green coffee bean extract, and 10-20% of that being chlorogenic acid. That's a really good dose. There's no side effects to that that have been reported. There's no negative stuff that comes from it. So all the way up to about 6,000 milligrams of green coffee bean is great. When to take it? Of course, along with like a lot of these things, these weight management supplements, it's good to take it sort of half an hour before eating, especially when they've got effects like carbohydrate blocking, which you want to prepare your body for that glucose to hit your stomach and intestines and then sort of prevent some of it from being absorbed. Finally, just a point on other ingredients. Green coffee bean extract, it's going to go well with like green tea extract, turmeric, capsaicin, red hot chili peppers basically, cayenne pepper, fucosanthin. That's kind of a seaweed that increases thermogenesis through brown fat activation. And look for another video I'm going to do on brown adipose tissue, articles all over the website as well, and those ingredients that induce brown adipose tissue activation, because it's a very interesting sort of area of dietary science, I guess you want to call it. So those ingredients, they're all actually pretty much non-stim ingredients. So green coffee bean can go in a non-stim supplement. It doesn't stimulate the central nervous system like others do. You can add it to a stimulant-based supplement as well at the same time. So it can go with caffeine and all those kind of stimulant. I won't say any of the other controversial stimulants, but it could go with caffeine or without caffeine. It's fine. Anyway, so that's green coffee. It works. It blocks a bit of sugar. It burns a bit of fat. Take it in 3,000 to 6,000 milligrams with a decent 10%, 20% chlorogenic acid. Thanks.